Hey everyone, and welcome to Voices of Hope. I'm Ross Wilsey.
And I'm Mike Wade.
Each episode, we sit down to talk about what it means to live well, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and beyond.
We'll look at how wellness shapes us as individuals, families, communities, and even the wider world around us.
Through real stories and honest conversations, we'll explore what hope looks like and how it grows right here in the New River Valley.
Thanks for joining us. This is Voices of Hope.
Mike Wade is a lifelong resident of Virginia's New River Valley and has worked at NRVCS for more than 26 years. As coordinator of community wellness and outreach, Mike is responsible for the agency's external communications and media relations. In 2018, he added supervision of the NRVCS prevention team to his job, eventually rebranding that work as community wellness and outreach. Mike blends his background in journalism and graphic design with a genuine desire to have a positive impact on the community he has always called home. All right, well, welcome back to our second episode of Getting to Know Your Host a Little Better. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good, Ross.
Good. So, yeah, if you missed the previous episode a couple weeks ago, we are doing just a 2-episode series, basically, of, interviewing each other. So last time Mike interviewed me, and this time I'm interviewing him. So I'm pretty excited. We'll get started with what we usually ask our guests, Mike. Just share a little bit about your background, where you're from originally, your education, and that type of thing.
Yeah, sure. So as you noted in the intro, I am a lifelong resident of the New River Valley. I grew up in Giles County. I graduated from Narrows High School and went on to study at Concord College, which is now Concord University. But back then, when I went to school, it was Concord College, and I obtained a bachelor's degree in graphic design, also known as commercial art, and a minor in advertising. So I work for a behavioral health agency now. It doesn't make much sense, but here I am.
I bet that looked a little different, the graphic design side of things, than it would today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, back then, and I'm really sounding like an old guy, but back then, I mean, most of what we did was by hand.
Wow.
I even had a course that was a full semester, and it was on hand-drawn lettering.
Really? Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool course to take.
Yeah, it really was, and I have a true appreciation for fonts and serifs and all the really nerdy things about text.
That's why you're always bugging me about which fonts to use.
That is exactly why. Yeah. It was drilled into my head as a very young adult. It stuck with me.
Okay.
But anyways, no, I really learned a lot from that, and my career goal at that point was to become like an illustrator and work for like an ad agency in a larger city and that kind of thing. And while I was waiting around for someone to take me up on my offers of letters and, chances to come in and show my portfolio of work, I was sitting at home with not much to do. And I got a call that the newspaper in Giles County was looking for a part-time proofreader. And I love to write, and, I love English, and thought, well, what the heck, just to buy some time and have some spending money to walk around with.
Yeah.
I'll just go do this part-time gig and, then leave and go on to a big city and become a famous illustrator and all the things. Well, obviously that didn't work out. But I did find a home at the newspaper and really discovered that I truly enjoyed that work. And about 2 weeks after I started that part-time gig as a proofreader, the paper's sports editor left, and I was asked to step into that role, a full-time position. And, I was 21, 22. They were going to pay me to go out and watch games and write about them. Sure, I can do that. So I did that, and that lasted for a couple of years. And then, the newspaper thing just kind of stuck. and I really enjoyed what I was doing. And then I got a chance to step up and be the general news editor at the ripe old age of 25.
Wow.
And so I was responsible for the bulk of the content of a weekly community newspaper.
Pretty impressive.
At that age.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really great opportunity. And I did that for a few more years. And then eventually the job at New River Valley Community Services came up in early 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that as a neat opportunity. And I guess we can talk more about why later. But
Yeah.
that got things started, and I've been here ever since. So
Wow.
over the course of my 34 years in the workforce, I've received W-2s from 2 employers.
Wow. That's kind of unheard of these days. But
yeah, it's a little bit of an anomaly, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm just curious, did you ever submit any of your work to, I don't know, magazines or other publications like the New Yorker or something like that? Did you ever get into any of that?
Oh, yeah. So the art thing, I have continued to dabble in, and it's kind of just been sort of this thing that I've done on the side. And honestly, it's more about just mental wellness and therapy for myself, having something therapeutic as an outlet to do. But I'm fortunate in that I've got, I guess, enough ability that some people like my work enough to pay me to do things for them or to hang stuff on their wall. And I'm incredibly grateful to have that kind of audience. But I mean, even if no one paid me, I'd still be probably drawing stuff just to do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we talked a little bit about this in my episode a couple weeks ago, but like me, you're a husband and a father. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your family and what that means to you.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't talk about my family without talking about my mom and dad. They've been such a powerful influence and guiding light for me over the course of my lifetime. My mother, who passed away back in 1999 from breast cancer at the age of 45, was a social worker. She worked for the Head Start, the local Head Start program, and also worked for the local Department of Social Services. And just kind of, I think, her wiring kind of spilled over into my life. And I found the job at NRVCS not long after she had passed away.
Okay.
And it just seemed to be a really good fit because I wanted to do something that made me feel closer connected to her.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Losing her was profound for me.
Wow.
In many ways. And there's a lot of stuff that I didn't realize at the time that was kind of a byproduct of just my grief and struggle to cope with her not being in my life anymore because, you know, she was 16 when she had me.
Wow.
And in a lot of ways, I felt like we kind of grew up together.
Yeah.
She was a constant in my life until she wasn't anymore. And it took me a while to adjust to that. And
I'm sure.
Yeah. So anyways, I wanted to do something that made me feel more connected to her, that I was, you know, trying to carry on some kind of legacy on her behalf or something. And then my dad, who I'm fortunate to still have in my life, is just one of the most genuine people that I think you could ever encounter. And his work ethic is certainly something that he handed down to me. And his sense of loyalty and just taking care of business is something that has really kind of driven me my entire life. So they're great influences on me and why I am who I am today. In many ways.
I've never met your dad, but I've heard you talk about him several times, and every time you do, it's in the same way you just spoke of him just now. So that's really cool to have that in your life. So
yeah, he's my ball cap wearing Yoda.
Nice.
He really is.
That's cool.
Yeah. So my wife, Brennan, Wow. I mean, there's just so many things that I could say about her. She is definitely my soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
She's my best friend. She brings me so much joy in just being able to experience life and not take myself too seriously.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
makes me laugh a lot. We make each other laugh a lot. Yeah, we're just really a good fit. We're different in a lot of ways, but at the same time, whatever the chemistry is there, definitely works. And we're still as tight as we were, back at the beginning of all this. So
Uh-huh.
she's just a wonderful person, a huge heart. She is a social butterfly. When you talk about opposites, you and I have spoken a lot about how we are both introverts.
Yes.
And I would probably stay at home most of the time if it were not for my wife.
Same here. Why would you not?
But she gently nudges me out into the public and gets me around other people, and that's good for me.
Yes, we have similar experiences in that way. So
yeah. So even though I push back on that sometimes, it is good for me. But she's just a wonderful person. She has a huge heart. She has so many, not just like acquaintances, but really, really good friends. I sometimes am amazed by just how closely connected she is to so many different people that she has encountered from all aspects of her life. I mean, she's got diehard friends from like kindergarten, and then she's got people that she works with now that she's only known for a couple of years. But I mean, she's just one of those people that just, I don't know, she's like a magnet and just draws people in. And
wow, that's
she
cool.
loves them all so hard and so
That's
much.
awesome.
I'm very fortunate that a lot of her heart gets spent on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's great. She's phenomenal. I could talk all day about her.
Yeah.
And then our kids, we have 2 adult children. Our daughter Olivia is 27. She works in banking and is having a really good career. She's in a loving relationship and seems really, really happy. And yeah, I mean, she's just doing great. I'm so proud of her.
Nice.
And then our son Isaac just turned 24, just got married, which is really cool.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah,
and to you.
thank you. And he works in trades. He does security system installations, and has done really, really well for himself. And yeah, my kids are just 2 really great human beings, and they're like night and day. They're nothing alike in many ways, but just really incredible young people who are absolutely contributing to society in a positive way. And gosh, I'm incredibly lucky to be their father. It's amazing.
Well, I'm sure they would say they're incredibly lucky to have you as a dad. So, speaking of which, how would you describe yourself as a dad? And, what are some of the more significant things you've learned as a father?
Well, I would probably describe myself as imperfect, but well-intentioned. And maybe that's just me as a person in general, but probably also applies to my role as a father. I would like to think that I am supportive and encouraging and consistent.
Yeah.
Like the kids always know what they're going to get when they call me. No surprises. I try to be as steady as I can be. And I don't always have the answers. I mean, they've both gone through stuff, and they've been challenged in the early stages of their lives. And, sometimes I'm at a loss for words to support them.
Right.
But, they always know that I have a set of ears that will listen.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that's great.
I think sometimes as parents, we put pressure on ourselves to have the answers.
Yes.
When really maybe that's not what our kids are looking for.
Right.
They just want to be heard.
Yeah. Great point.
So I hope my kids feel that they get that from me, if nothing else.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, have you learned anything about yourself as a father? Has being a father like led to any big revelations about who you are as a person? It's like kind of a deep question, but
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my parents set such a high bar.
Yeah.
They were just so good in different ways to be to make my siblings and I feel supported and loved, and give us a chance to be well-rounded. I think sometimes about like growing up in Giles County, small town of Narrows,
Right.
central Appalachia. Um, and I'm sometimes taken aback by how, in some way, my siblings and I were able to have a more worldly perspective and see the world as a bigger place than just the community that we lived in.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents gave us, I think, the space to explore for ourselves and learn about things and think outside the box, if you will,
Right. Yeah.
about life and what was possible. And so I think I benefited from having parents with really open hearts and open minds. And I certainly hope that I've passed that on to my kids. I would not call myself a helicopter parent in any way. I think I have always kind of taken the approach that my kids have the ability to navigate life with the foundation that they were given very early on.
Knowing that they have you as a support there if they need it, right?
Yeah. I mean, they've got a supportive family, and
Right.
if they hit bumps in the road, they know they've got people they can lean on.
Yeah.
And so I guess I've just learned to kind of like recognize that I can't control everything that happens to them, good or bad.
Mm-hmm. That's hard.
Life happens.
Yeah.
And you have to let your kids experience both the highs and the lows of life.
Right.
To appreciate the middle ground that we spend most of our time in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of, I don't know what the right word is, but I was going to say courage, but it just takes a lot of something to get to that point where you're able to let go and realize that they're going to be better off hitting those highs and those lows and not just trying to make everything, like I said in my episode, I want them to have everything and just to like have be happy all the time, but that's not the healthy thing for them. That's not what they need. So yeah.
Well, and despite the areas where I've obviously come up short or goofed up or made mistakes, they've been able to work through those in their own way and come out being the really great young adults that they are. So
yeah, that's great.
I don't know. I can't take any credit for what's happened, but I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for where they are in life, and yeah, that's a really deep question.
Yeah. Hey, we went there, so
yeah, you sure did.
So just wanted to hear a little bit more about your journey here at NRVCS and how you can tell as much or as little as you want about how you were drawn to behavioral health. You've already mentioned your mom. And then just how you arrived in the specific position you're in today.
Yeah. So I mentioned that I was working at the newspaper when my mom passed away. And, I love the newspaper work for lots of reasons, but it's also a demanding field to be in.
Right.
And I was working a lot of hours, and, the kids were coming along, and, it's not very conducive for a family life. So I was looking for a bit of a change in that regard, on top of trying to find a way to do work that was more in line with what my mom had done.
Yeah.
And so lo and behold, like a couple of months after mom passed away, this job opportunity at NRVCS came up, and it was for a community relations specialist.
Okay.
And it was basically, the job description was someone who would write press releases and do media relations and internal communications and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw it as, well, this is just my chance to be on the other end of the questions. Instead of asking the questions, I would now be answering the questions.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like kind of a natural, like, flip of the coin to go to that other side. And I had some familiarity with the agency just because of my mom and her work.
Mm-hmm.
She made mention of NRVCS a few times here and there over the course of her career. And so I knew of the agency. I didn't understand the scope of the services that we provide. But it just seemed like an opportunity to do something different.
Okay.
And so I took that on and did the community relations piece for the first 15, 16 years of my career and solely concentrated on that. And then about 10 years ago was given an opportunity to take on some supervision of a portion of the prevention services team.
Mm-hmm.
And so started doing that, and then eventually, probably 2 years after that, took on just primary responsibility of supervising prevention services, but also holding on to the community relations PR aspect of my work.
Right.
And so, I've been the full-time prevention supervisor / PR guy for about 10 years now.
Okay. I'm sure there have been quite a few changes over the years, but what are some of the more notable changes you've seen in behavioral health, maybe prevention as a field specifically, either one over the years?
Yeah. Well, as I look back over the course of 26 years, the one event that stands out to me more than anything, and maybe changed a lot for many of us, was the tragedy at Virginia Tech back in 2007.
Mm-hmm. Right.
At the time, I wasn't connected to prevention in any way, and was just solely doing the PR work.
Yeah.
But that incident really, I think, caused our community to think more about behavioral health issues.
Yep.
The impact of trauma and the importance of people getting care and staying connected to help. And recognizing, too, I think that more people lived and struggled with behavioral health challenges than maybe we realized before.
Yep.
And I think if you go back and look at the data from our service numbers and the number of staff that we have on board, probably from that time, we have grown tremendously.
Right.
I think more people are looking to get help. More people recognize that they might need someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And we have tried to, I think, in a lot of ways, expand our services to meet that ever-growing need. I don't think we can ever truly keep pace with the need that's out there. But when you think about the fact that when I first came to work at NRVCS in 2000, we had about 225 employees.
Yeah.
And now we're like 860 or something like that, I think.
Yep.
I mean, that kind of growth, we wouldn't be doing that if there wasn't such a need for the type of services that we provide. So I think just the overall growth and the number of people who are seeking help has been a big turn for me in what I've experienced. And then obviously the issues around overdose, the prevalence of opioids in our community, just the number of people that have been impacted by that alone, and the immediate threat of things like fentanyl.
Yeah.
It's just scary.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot different than even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Things are changing all the time.
Yeah. And I think just from a prevention aspect of the work that our agency does, we historically, up until several years ago, we tended to spend a lot of staff time and resources on classroom-based prevention education, doing some kind of version of, I think, what most people would recognize as like a DARE program type thing.
Right.
Where we're trying to educate young people about the dangers of substances and, trying to get them to avoid experimenting with them, that kind of thing. And that kind of programming certainly has a place. But once I kind of got into prevention and began to really get my bearings on what we were supposed to be doing and what the biggest challenges were for the community, I recognized that we needed to take more of a public health approach to prevention, because yes, we don't want young people to use substances or experiment with them, but man, there's just so much more to this.
Right.
As we know, I mean, why do people use substances? Why do people struggle with mental health challenges? And we know, because the research has pointed to it, and there's a lot of evidence behind it, that a lot of this boils down to adverse childhood experiences, childhood trauma.
Yep.
And we can't be effective with prevention unless we truly understand, recognize, and address those issues around adverse childhood experiences and childhood trauma.
Yeah, right.
Because so much of what we see from the treatment, recovery, harm reduction side of things in this big scope of substance use services and recovery, I mean, it all gets linked back to childhood trauma.
Right.
You know, we had the episode, a couple of months ago with our friend Joe Klein.
Yeah.
And he said probably, 95% of the people that he works with that have a substance use problem, they have a history of trauma.
Yep.
So it's not rocket science. We obviously have to continue to pour resources into treatment, recovery, harm reduction. Those are all important things, but we really need to do more on the front end.
Yeah.
We really need to invest more in prevention. And I'm not just saying that because that's the work that we do. It just makes sense. You know?
To me, it does as well. It feels like the fact that we don't give enough maybe attention or funding to prevention just speaks to like a short-sightedness, to it's easier to just throw money at things that will see some temporary reductions in numbers or whatever the case may be. But we really have to think more long-term in the prevention world.
Well, to me, it's just like taking care of your vehicle.
Yeah.
You can get regular oil changes,
right?
You know, as the manufacturer recommends, or you can avoid all that and eventually wait for your car to break down and you replace the engine.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, so why can't we look at behavioral health issues the same way?
Right. Good question.
And you know, Ross, I'm probably too pragmatic with my outlook on this stuff. But I really do think a lot of it's just common sense, and we need to be more proactive than reactive. And you've seen the research about the value, the return on investment of prevention dollars.
Yeah.
You know, the money invested in prevention pays for itself. You know, I mean, it's just the smart thing to do.
Right. Yep. Yeah,
And
I agree.
We have not figured that out yet.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we will soon. I'm hoping.
We'll save this for another podcast episode.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So just thinking about prevention and how you got into it, what makes you so passionate about prevention on a personal level, and how did being kind of the PR guy translate to working in the field of prevention?
Yeah. From a personal level, I have family, just like you share, who have been touched or affected by behavioral health issues. And so it's important to me from that aspect. And, you know, I just really want our communities to be well. I want what's best for other people. And I think prevention is a key to a lot of this stuff, as we've talked about already. If we got that part figured out better, I think our communities would be healthier.
Yeah.
And I mean, from a personal taxpayer level, taxpayer perspective, it just makes sense. Like, put my money there.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely.
The other part of your question about being the PR guy and doing that work and then it translating into prevention, you know this as well as anybody. A lot of the stuff that we do in prevention is about messaging.
Yeah.
It's about sharing stories, telling stories, presenting facts in a way that people will digest them. make connections.
Mm-hmm.
So the words we use matter, when we're talking about behavioral health conditions and the people that live with them. And I think this hope campaign that we've created really just kind of boils it down to the essence of what we're trying to do as a community services board, as a prevention team, as human beings for each other,
Yeah.
is generate hope and give people something to look forward to and hang on to want to be around for tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, to me, that's the essence of prevention, is just having hope and just having these strategies that will improve your life in whatever way, physical, spiritual, things like that. Just being well overall. I mean, to me, that's the essence of prevention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, speaking of wellness, what do you do to maintain your personal wellness?
Well, my wife would tell you that I don't do quite enough to take care of myself physically.
Uh-huh.
And I also just had my annual checkup, and there's nothing more motivating than having that appointment.
Oh, great.
So as of this recording, I've been to the rec center 3 days in a row.
Wow, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, will he stick with it? That's the question.
Yeah. Right. Well,
Yeah. But I'm not a huge exercise fan. I don't really care to work out and do all that stuff. But I know it's good for me, and I should. And usually after I do it, I do feel better and can see the benefits.
Right.
So there's that piece of it. I mentioned that creating art for me is just kind of like a therapeutic practice and an outlet that allows me to be creative and just kind of like get lost in doing something that I don't have to think much about. It just happens.
Sure.
And music, I do play music, but I'm also just a huge fan of music, and being able to just kind of lose myself in listening to music is a really good way for me to like maintain my wellness.
Yeah.
And I can go from Merle Haggard to Metallica and be perfectly content with any of those.
Nice.
I have a pretty eclectic taste in music, but I love it. And then, emotionally, spiritually, I've shared this with you, Ross. I've been spending some time trying to learn more about like Eastern culture, and Buddhism is certainly something that's starting to make a lot more sense to me as I get older. And so I'm tapping into my spirituality, I think, by gaining more insight from reading about that kind of stuff and just kind of being more aware. And, in the work that we do and the people that we interact with, we've been exposed to a lot more about mindfulness.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
And so I try to incorporate some of that into my regular routine. And I mean, I'm a pretty content guy.
Well, that's great.
I don't have too much to complain about, and I don't get too fired up about too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I try to just enjoy the time that I have and appreciate what's around me and the people that are around me. And I'm grateful.
Right.
For everything.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, that's something to look up to. So.
Well, it's come with age,
Right.
I think some of that's just from being older and having the perspective of living for several decades and recognizing that the stuff that I used to get worked up about really isn't such a big deal.
Yeah. Wise words. Well, what does the word hope mean to you?
I'm going to go back to the conversation that you and I had with Winfred Beal, the retired football coach from Floyd County High School.
What a great conversation.
What a great conversation. What a great man.
He really is.
Yeah, he's just phenomenal. He's just a one-of-a-kind human being.
Yeah.
But when we asked him that question, he said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't think I'll nail it word for word, but he said something along the lines of, things usually are never quite as bad as they seem, and they're never usually quite as good as they seem. Usually we're somewhere in the middle,
Right.
and that's where hope lies. And
Yeah.
and to me, that made so much sense when he said that.
Mm-hmm.
That I think we just have to remind ourselves that we're going to go through really tough times.
Yeah.
We're going to experience heartbreak. We're going to lose people we love. Things are not going to go our way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we're going to be on top of the mountain. We're going to feel like the king of the world, and everything's going to be looking great for us. And those are great moments in our lives, but they also come and go.
Yeah. Right.
And so the middle of all that is where we need to expect ourselves to be, and where we should really appreciate being.
Mm-hmm. What a unique answer. I like that.
Did that make any sense?
It did. It made a lot of sense. I'm still just kind of pondering on it, because, what does that mean to me to be living sort of in the middle? That's something to think about. I like that.
Well, I just think if we as a society got better at being in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily talking about politics, but I could be.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
My mind didn't even go straight to politics. It went other places first, but I can see both. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we just need to be okay with contentment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to pursue anything.
Yeah.
Let's just be who we are, and, not push ourselves too hard or get stuck in the hard times.
Right.
Because those don't last forever either.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that, well, this is going to jump way into the deep end here, but I was going to say a lot of that kind of can come from comparing yourself to others with social media, and you're always wanting to look better or feel better or have the next best version of something or whatever.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about that too, but
yeah. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a teenager.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a 55-year-old guy like I am. With social media and being exposed to all this other stuff that's out there, you can't help but sometimes get caught up in that.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think you have to be intentional about kind of like separating yourself from that, compartmentalizing it, and understanding it for what it is, because people don't usually do Instagram posts of their really crappy days.
Right.
Right. So I mean, consider the source and have that perspective, and I think that takes care of some of the envy and jealousy that we might feel when we first see like this really like glorious post of someone's splendid vacation, or
right,
their big family gathering, or whatever that may be.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, I have taken far too much of your time, so we need to wrap it up.
Likewise.
I do want to ask what we do usually ask our guests at the end, and ask if you have any final words of wisdom to share with our listeners.
I've got a few.
Okay.
And I'm going to borrow from a couple of different sources. Our friend Emily Perkins from Giles County Head Start has been quoted many times as saying, "The days are long, but the years are short."
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Definitely.
My mother used to always say, there just aren't enough hours in the day. And as a young person, I never appreciated that. But as a middle-aged man, I certainly know what she's talking about now.
Yes.
And then finally, a quote from the Dalai Lama.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. "There are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. So today is the right day to love, believe, do, and mostly live."
Wow. Love that.
There you go. Us bald guys, we're kind of wise.
That's right. Yeah. Can't argue with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Mike, this has been a great conversation. I don't know, I've learned new things about you, which was sort of unexpected. And I know we still have lots to learn about each other, but this
Yeah.
This has been really neat, this little project of ours. So
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I probably talk too much, but here I am. I'm an open book.
Well, thank you so much for sharing everything that you shared in this conversation and being vulnerable and being open to just letting people know more about you. That's an admirable thing to do, and we will talk to you next time.
Thanks, Ross. Thanks for listening to Voices of Hope.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd love for you to rate and review the podcast and help us spread the word.
Voices of Hope is a production of New River Valley Community Services.
To learn more or listen to past episodes, visit nrvcs.org/podcast.
And remember, hope grows when we share it.
So keep the conversation going, and we'll talk to you next time on Voices of Hope.